All I'm saying is that in African countries, as a whole, as a continent, we have everything we need. We actually don't need the rest of the world at all. We have gold, we have oil, we have food growing in abundance. I mean, our coconut water, I can't even drink it when I go to the States. What is this manufactured nonsense? It's horrible. For the youth, I would say don't aspire to go someplace else. Aspire to build this country. Let's face it, black don't crack and it dominates whatever it decides to focus on. It's just as simple as that. You know, we decide to play golf, we run golf. We decide to play basketball, we take that over. You know, tennis, football, whatever, medicine. A black woman just created a way to cure cancer with neuroparticles or something.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Joe. As usual, you know, we interview diasporas. We bridge the gap between African Americans and also African as well. You know, we have a beautiful woman. We are here for her to share some experience with us so far being in Ghana. So, Mom?
Well, I'm Michelle McKinney Hammond. I'm a best-selling author. I'm an Emmy Award-winning television co-host in the States. I also act in movies here and television series here. I'm an international speaker. I am a singer, songwriter, producer. I have a band here called Relevance. I have a fashion line, MMH Collections, and I do tours of Ghana at MMH Tours. So I do a lot.
Wow, this is actually a full pack in one container.
So, that's right. My mentor says that when they were handing out gifts and I was on the belt, that the belt got stuck. So I got a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah, wow.
God poured in.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So why Ghana? Why do you choose Ghana?
Well, I'm Ghanaian. So where else am I going? My father is from Ghana. My mother is from Barbados, and I was born in London. So I've had the total world experience. And my dad passed away, and I think he probably had plotted and schemed for me to move to Ghana for years, because the way he set things up, I eventually had to move. And I felt God telling me to move to Ghana. So that's what I did, and I haven't regretted it.
Wow. So share us some of the experiences so far being an actress or maybe being into the movie industry, and also this kind of advising the youth and so forth.
Well, as far as movies go, I was I worked in advertising in the States. So I had behind the camera experience, producing commercials for McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Ford Motor Company, Schlitz Malt Liquor, Johnson Products, you name it. We did it. But I'd always aspired to act. I was in theater in the States for a while before I started working, and I missed that. So when I moved to Ghana, it actually happened quite, well, I'm going to say divinely orchestrated, because nothing in life is an accident when you know God. I actually was praying and asking God about, well, what's going to happen with, you know, my film career. Before I left the States, I was working on getting a talk show and had aspirations to that degree. And there was a knock on my door, and it was some producers looking to rent a house for their movie. That movie ended up being Single and Married, which they asked me to do a scene in, and the rest was history. After that, I started getting calls. Will you be in this series? Will you do this movie? I starred in Candle in the Wind, that was directed by Pascal Amanfort. I work with Shirley Frimpong quite a bit, Sparrow Productions. Yeah. I love her. That's who I aspired to work with. So that dream came true. So I've been in several of her series, Dede, Eno, yeah, several of her productions. And I love working with her. I always tease her and call her the Ava DuVernay / Shonda Rhimes of Africa. Yeah. And I'm determined to make her world famous, because she's such a gifted woman, and working on her sets is always a joy. They're always organized. She knows what she's doing. She's a consummate director, producer, her and her husband Ken. So I really, really enjoy working with them. I've worked with other production companies too, and had a great time with them. But I work more for Shirley than the others. So the others should call me, and then I'll rant and rave about you too. But so I enjoy the acting experience. Of course, it doesn't pay like it pays in the States. So you really do it for the love of the craft and the love of the story that's being told. So for me, it's my happy place. It gives me joy. I'm excited. I'm working on a project now with Akosu Abuzia, who is starting a series. So we're looking to see how that goes. But overall, I would say I wish that the actors here could organize themselves to form a union, like in the States,
Yeah.
where they're paid decently, because the actors here are first rate. I mean, you've got Ajete, you've got Majid, you have um, oh shucks, why is the name escaping me now? But there are so many
And
that
so
are,
forth.
yes, that just
Myself, I'm
amazing.
also part of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
great actors, great actresses. The talent is there. So the recognition and the payment should be there. As we always pray and say, God, let us be celebrated and well compensated. You know, don't just celebrate me, compensate me. We all have to eat, and this is what we do for a living, and a lot of hard work goes into it. Nobody is doing a lesser job because they're not being paid a lot. So just think, if they were getting paid a lot, what you would see. You know, I think we're going to get there, though. I
Yeah.
believe that we're going to get there. Um, yeah. So that's the acting experience. As for the youth, I would just say, I think we don't know what we have here. They say familiarity breeds contempt. One of the things I love about Ghana is that children are still children. And that is a gift to itself, that you get to just be a child, to enjoy growing up, to enjoy not having to deal with the pressures that adults deal with. We all want to grow up. Then we grow up and go, oh, this is it. Sheesh, I wish I had a day of childhood again. All these responsibilities, pressures, dramas, and traumas is too much. But here I see children still playing in the streets with balls, and I love it. It makes me so happy every time I see it, because I go, they are creating memories that no one can take away from them as they grow later in life. We get to adulthood, we have other issues to deal with. And to the adults in Ghana, I say, also familiarity breeds contempt, and we need to really celebrate what we have here and make the most of it. I believe that as the rest of the world is going to hell in a handbasket, including America, uh, you know, I won't even get started there, because that would be a whole other show. All I'm saying is that in Africa, here in Ghana, in African countries as a whole, as a continent, we have everything we need. We actually don't need the rest of the world at all. We have gold, we have oil, we have food growing in abundance. I mean, our coconut water, I can't even drink it when I go to the States. What is this manufactured nonsense? It's horrible. Here, it's like, it's fresh, it's sweet, it's real, authentic. You have mangoes and bananas that taste like candy, pineapple, just falling off the trees. We need to, Heinz and Hunts and all those people need to bring their factories here, employ people, can this, and we should stop buying their canned nonsense. We have everything here, even our rice. The rice tastes so good. It's not the plastic stuff that other countries are importing in here, And I think that if we took care of our own, we would all be taken care of. If we bought locally and bought the things that are created here, and stop looking down our noses and thinking that Europe and America has the best of everything. They don't. I've lived in both places. I can honestly say they don't. So I think that we need to start celebrating what we have. We need to come together as a continent and our countries and unify ourselves and pull ourselves up. And we won't need loans or anything else,
Right.
because they'll have to come to us for the things that they've been stealing for years and pay for them.
Great.
It's just as simple as that. I just think that, I had a horrible experience. I was trying to take my band to America for training, and I was invited to sing somewhere. So I put them on the poster to add glamour to the thing. And they refused them. They gave one person a visa and refused 8 people. And then I started hearing all these horror stories about how the embassy treats people, and how they don't even look at your invitation letters or anything. They just look at you and decide, oh, you won't want to come back. Who says so? Who says you won't want to come back? Actually, I think Canada is now
It's
the favorite place to go and stay. I mean, there's so many terrifying things happening that who says we want to stay? You go, you do your business, you get out. Me, I
great.
go, I do my shopping, I
Yeah.
get out. If I'm there for more than 3 weeks, I feel anxious,
Yes, you don't have
you
time for
know.
that.
So I think that the pride is misplaced at this point because they're in trouble as a country. America is, which is sad. I mean, I lived in Chicago for many years. I love Chicago, um, but they all have real issues. Um, and I think that the other thing is that Ghanaians should not take the economy personally because it's bad everywhere. Prices are rocketing up everywhere,
Right.
and so we have to keep things in perspective. Could we have done some things better? Yes, we could have. I think that some of our money problems is mismanagement. Um, but also, I think it's us overlooking our resources and handling our resources
Right.
properly. And that's something that is not up to the government. It's up to us as a people
Yes.
to say, we're not going to buy foreign things anymore. We're going to eat off the fat of the land. We're going to set up factories and put our resources
Resources
where our
together.
money and our mouth is, and have superior. We make good chocolate. My cousin has a chocolate factory here. Her chocolate is just as good as anything that you buy at the store. You know, they're lovely products here that I prefer. So I think that we've got to start taking some pride in ourselves and seeing what we have at hand. You know,
Yeah.
when Moses was going to release the people from Egypt, he didn't know how he was going to do it. God said, "What do you have in your hand?"
Let's take.
And he had a stick. And when he threw it down, it became something powerful. And yes, the others imitated it, but his stick ate up the other sticks.
Yeah.
So we have to think about what we have. I see Africa that way, that we're overlooking the power of the stick we have in our hand.
Right.
So for the youth, I would say don't aspire to go someplace else. Aspire to build this country, and know what you have at hand. And one thing I love about Ghanaians is they're very entrepreneurial. They will find something to do. So I think that it's very important that we look at the resources we have, we examine the options we have, begin to utilize them, and build this country, build this continent into something that will be fearsome and awesome to the rest of the world.
So
Everybody else knows about how fabulous we are except us.
yeah.
That's why they all come here and take all our stuff, and that needs to stop.
I just want to ask this question. The fact that your dad is a Ghanaian, your mom is an American, or maybe anything else.
No, she's not. She's West Indian. I'm
Okay.
not American at all. I
Okay.
just got my green
All
card.
right, from a
I was
different.
born in London.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just want to ask, having these two kind of blood in you, how does it feel? And when you go to America, how do they treat you? Do you feel like
Oh, well, I'm treated well everywhere because I'm a child of God and I expect to be treated well. I carry myself that way. I speak to people that way. I give them the honor and respect due to them. And I am never mistreated anywhere because that's not my expectation. So, I'm a full-blooded African woman because Barbadians, Bajans, whatever you want to call them, they came from Ghana. My cousin is the prime minister of Barbados, Mia Motley. So I'm an African woman, and I'm a proud African woman.
great, great? I just want to ask one thing. You know, you have been into the movie industry for a whole lot of time now in America. So
No, I actually my coming out was in Ghana.
in Ghana.
Yes,
Okay, so
I'm
definitely.
doing an independent film in America for the first time
Well,
at the end of the month.
yes. So you sometimes see American producers writing movie scripts about painting Africa in a black manner or maybe in a negative manner.
Mm-hmm.
You being a producer, how would you advise those people to stop that or maybe to stop painting Africa in a negative way?
Well, I don't think that that's being done a lot these days. You've got Woman King, you've got Wakanda, they're glorifying Africa now. Africa is now, this amazing place in their minds, and more people want to come here. And I think that you can't really tell them anything. They have to come and have the experience. And when they come and they see people living better than they're living in America, then the trajectory changes, and that's what I tell them all the time. Honey, we live better in Africa than you're living in America. The same house in Africa, you wouldn't even be able to be in it in America. You see, so you have help. You have, I've had friends come and be shocked. Oh, you have fancy cars. Oh, you have big houses. Yeah, did you think we were living in trees? We're
No, but
not.
can you emphasize on that for me? Maybe if you can go deep into what you're saying.
Well, I mean, they're just surprised at the level of life that we live because they've been told so many things over the years. And it's getting worse now as they're trying to kill Black history in America altogether. But if you even look at the statistics, statistically, most of their physicians are Nigerians or Ghanaians. Most of their people high level doing anything are African people. So, that's why they're evil and salty about it. And now they're trying to, shut down students going and all that kind of stuff because let's face it, Black don't crack and it dominates whatever it decides to focus on. It's just as simple as that. We decide to play golf, we run golf. We decide to play basketball, we take that over. Tennis, football, whatever, medicine. A Black woman just created a way to cure cancer with neuroparticles or something. The woman who started, who did the vaccine for COVID was a Ghanaian. So here you have it that, we've got to stop the brainwash. They're not superior. Nobody is superior. If we each play our part in the universe as God created us, all created equal, God himself is no respecter of persons, male, female, Jew, Gentile, Greek. He doesn't care. You're supposed to be lining up with what he created us to do and who he created us to be. And then that way we all contribute to the universe at large and we have a great place to live. When people start thinking they're better than other people, this is when the problem comes in because we weren't created that way. It goes against the grain of creation.
Well, so how do we bridge the gap between African Americans and African, in your opinion? How do we bridge those
Well, we
gaps?
just continue the education and the exchange. African Americans, I remember when I went from Barbados to America at 7. I went to school in Barbados, and it was the British education system, which was superior to the American system. So they took me from the first grade to the third grade because we had already covered all of that. I remember that there were like comments that, oh, African people, West Indian people, they're so haughty and they're impressed with themselves. Why is the word slipping my brain right now? But you know what I mean. They thought we were arrogant. And it's not arrogance, it's confidence. As Deion Sanders has now all told us, don't let my confidence upset your insecurity. That's basically what it came down to, Mr. Prime. I love him. Anyway, and I think that because we have seen Black people in leadership. I remember when Obama was running for president, how many of my friends said, oh, a Black man will never be president? I saw no problem with it because I've seen Black presidents. So why can't he be president? He's going to be president. So get used to it. I was confident he was going to be president, and he was. I said he will serve. This was my prophecy over Obama. I said he will serve 2 administrations, and he will be one of the most loved presidents in history. And that is exactly what has happened. So the mindset has to shift. And it's due to lack of education, really, lack of exposure.
So
I mean, Africans, when I tell my friends at home, oh, we love our destination celebrations. They're going to do a wedding in Greece. They're going to go to Italy for a birthday party. They're like, what? It sounds so exotic, right? But it's how we live our lives in Africa. I think that Africans are more exposed. They've been to Europe. They go to Europe. They go to school in Europe. They interact with Europeans. America can be a quite myopic place. I always laugh and say that's why they call it the World Series. They're only playing themselves. They're the world. But, America, I'll tell you what I like about America. Everything works.
Let me know.
They have systems. Things don't break every 5 minutes. But part of that is due to our tropical weather, and the other part is to how we treat things and don't really respect things as we should and keep them up. But America has systems in place. Not all of them are good systems, but they're in place and things work, you know. And I think that there are a lot of good people in America, and that there's a small midsection of people with very loud voices that give America a bad name. So, in light of that, we have to put everything in perspective that it's not a horrible place. It's just who you interact with there and what you're being told and what is being sold. To take Black history out of schools, I think, is deplorable. It's just because you're uncomfortable with it. What did you have to do with your ancestors? Tell the story and don't revisit it. That's my philosophy on that.
Yeah, but do you think it's really possible for somebody like me or maybe a YouTuber that always preach Africa to the world to be in America to preach Africa to people in America?
Sure. I mean, Americans are interested. African Americans are interested. Not just African Americans. I mean, I have a lot of white friends who are very interested in Africa. And as you know, right now, there's a mass exodus of people leaving America and moving to Africa anyway. White, Black, and it's not just Black people, you know. So they know about the resources, they know about the opportunities, they know about the quality of life. I mean, to be able to drive down the street and stop and get your fresh vegetables, that have not been tainted with all kinds of chemicals and stuff. We eat cleaner, that's why we're healthier, we look better, our skin is great, you know, we've got the sun. There's so many things working for us that make us a better place to be. You know, for those who are in retirement, a lot of them are moving here because it's become the next Arizona, Phoenix, and Florida without the problems. That's not to say that Africa is perfect either. You know, we have our issues. However, you can make a nice life for yourself here.
Why?
So I just keep it all in balance. There are things I like about America. I love Andy's custard. Andy's frozen custard. Oh my gosh. Portillo's. You know, they're my restaurants. They're my friends. They're my family members there. So there are things for me to go back for. I don't like a lot of things that are going on. I don't like the tension. I don't like the anger. I don't like the hatred. No, those are things that they need to work on. But we also have our issues here. We have tribalism. We have our own prejudices built in, even among us as Black people. So we all need to work on being unified and get rid of the superiority complex, no matter where we are, no matter what shade we are. And let's be about the business of building each other up so that we have a solid country that is immovable, unshakable, and indivisible. That's the big word, indivisible. Let us not be allow others to divide us and make us fight amongst ourselves.
You know, you said it all. You said so many things about Africa. You said so many amazing things about Africa. But why do you sometimes choose to go back to the States?
I have family there. I have friends there. I had a life there for over 50 years. Why wouldn't I go back?
Yeah, so maybe if you think you like Africa, why don't you move the whole family to Africa?
No, because there's some things here that aren't conducive for them. And everybody does. What you have to understand is everybody can't. I don't want everybody coming here now crowding it up. Let's face it.
Okay.
But I mean, like, my parents have very special medical needs that I know would not get the right treatment here right now. Medical is an area where we really need to work on things. That's why anybody who has money goes outside to do their medical. So, and we're coming up with that. We're building some new hospitals. We're getting really great staff in. We're starting to get the right equipment. But, you know, I'm not going to gamble with my parents' health at this point in time. They're in their 80s. So, and they have their life there. They've been there all their lives. You know, my father's Ghanaian, my mother is not. So she's in America with her American husband. I have American siblings who have fabulous lives there in big positions. So, you know, it's not a matter of moving everybody to one place or the other. What it is having an appreciation for wherever we are and knowing that and seeing Africa in the light that it actually is, as opposed to the fairy tales they've been told of people living in trees and being ignorant. We are not that, you know. So,
well, I have extra two more questions for you. One comes with a help, and one comes with a question.
Okay.
A direct question. My girlfriend is a traveling agent, and she's into tourism. Mm-hmm. So, since you are the bigger boss in tourism, maybe I'll ask you to also teach her something about tourism. That's my help that I'm asking you for. And
Okay.
the next question is, you've been in Ghana for a whole lot of time.
Yeah, I've lived here for 12 years
12
now.
years now. So you might have tasted Ghanaian food. You
Mhm.
might have prepared a whole lot of Ghanaian
But that's
food.
all I eat. I mean,
Yes, so
I live in a
great.
Ghanaian culture.
So what kind of Ghanaian food can you prepare?
Oh, I can do jollof. I can do light soup. I can do a lot of things. Yeah, but I have a cook, so why?
Well, since you're in Ghana, you need to learn how to cook Ghanaian food.
Well, I don't have to cook though. I mean, I know how to cook it, but I don't have to cook it.
Wow. Okay, so I'm throwing a challenge for you. I'm giving you like 2 months. Learn how to do something. Then we'll come.
No, I've done.
I want to have a competition with you, a cooking competition.
You will lose, my friend. You will lose. No, you know, when I was in the States, I used to cook Ghanaian food for my friends. So
Great.
yeah.
Great. Well, so what would you like to tell people that are watching you on my channel? Because I've seen my celebrity. Guys, you know, there's a celebrity. My mom is a celebrity. So she's a producer in Ghana featuring this Maje, Jackie Apia.
Oh, no, I'm not producing any of that.
Don't worry.
I just show up in their
Don't
films.
worry, she's a producer.
Oh,
she's just
Lord.
trying to tell you guys not to know, but she is. So, Mom, you want to say something to your people?
I just want my people to love themselves, to love the country, to stop blaming government for every problem, because you know what? A lot of stuff people can do for themselves. If you're sitting waiting for the government to do it, it's a big mistake. I think we need to become more self-motivated, and stop over spiritualizing everything, because we love God, but you know, don't wait for God to do everything either. We are the legal point of entry for his spirit in the earth realm to operate. So he's looking for people to work in partnership with him to execute his plan in the world. So that means you got to work. Faith without works is dead. It's not all hamala hamala shamala shamala all the time.
Right.
You know, we do that to hear from him, to get the instructions, to know what to do, not for him to get from his throne and do it for you. That's not going to happen. So I just think that we just need to become a country that puts everything in perspective, you know, because I'm a pastor too. You didn't say that. So that's why I'm saying that to you. You know, I've written over 43 books. I've preached for T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, Crystal Cathedral, KICC in London, Rivers in South Africa, This Present House in Nigeria. I've preached everywhere on every major stage, and I know my Bible. So that's why I'm saying to you, as we pray, as we worship, that we keep things in perspective and make God proud by doing the work. Faith without works is dead. So sometimes I think we get that mixed up. We take it to the wrong place. You know, you should be at work on Thursday morning, not someplace praying from 9 to 12 and making your employer upset. You know, that's not the way things were done. When Daniel prayed, he prayed on his time, not the king's time. And that's why the king respected him, promoted him, and ended up encouraging the entire country to worship Daniel's Daniel's God. So we have to, you know, put these things in perspective. I think a lot of times when we're over spiritual, we think we're proving something to God. We're not proving anything. We just look stupid. So let's fix that. Let's fix that. The devil is laughing. Look at these people. They think they're getting something from God because they prayed for 10 hours. Why is it that Jesus said, Father, I'm praying that you be glorified. Show the people who you are. Lazarus, come out. Shortest prayer, and it raised somebody from the dead. Okay. So it's not quantity, it's quality.
Yes.
I want you to, you know, deal with your relationship with God. Are you really connected, or are you just going through the motions? Because being religious doesn't get you anywhere. It won't get you into heaven. It won't get you victory on earth. So, you know, just being in perspective with all of these things, I think is very important.
Great.
And I think that the best is yet to come for Ghana, Nigeria, and the rest of Africa, because we're finally waking up. The lion is waking up and saying, wait a minute, we're not taking any of this nonsense anymore. You know, I was thinking to myself the other day, what if our embassy gave Americans the hard time they give us when we go to the embassy, to be considered if you're going to let them come to Ghana? What would happen? It won't happen, because we want our tourism. However, A conversation needs to be had. A serious conversation needs to be had because it's not right what they're doing to people. They're judging them unfairly, and everybody does not want to live in America. Sorry to surprise them. Some people love being in Africa, and they're moving back, and people are moving from America here. So I think what we need to know is that we're moving, we're shifting. It's a time of great change. The times are fluid, and we need to allow and respect one another.
Wow. Thank you very much for your comments, and so thank you very much for coming on our show. I just want to show some appreciation to you because you've been a mother, you've been a legend, you've been a celebrity on our channel. So guys, as you are watching, she said pray. So as you are watching, you keep praying for my channel, praying to subscribe to my channel, and also praying to share my content. Do you have any YouTube channel that you want to?
Yes, I do. Michelle McKinney Hammond. And I also do Sunday School Made Simple. So if you want a Bible lesson, look up Sunday School Made Simple on YouTube, and there I am giving you a lesson every Sunday.
Well, guess what? The three best YouTubers has met, and one has mentioned her YouTube name. We have another one called Coco Strength TV. You can also subscribe. She also promotes Africa and also deals in tourism and so forth, and myself, Clevi Joe. So as you are checking on my channel, please make sure you check on these two channels too, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.